Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm the Pretty Thrifty Music Teacher, and today I will be doing a question and answer session on the cost of being a teacher in North Carolina. This video was inspired by Smartiestyle's video about the cost of being a teacher in Southern California, and I will be answering the exact same questions as she answered in her video. So, all right, let's get started. Okay. Question number one. What state do I live in? I live in North Carolina. Question number two. How many members in my household? Currently, there are 3 members in my household. My household consists of my mother, myself, and my 16-year-old sister. Okay. Question number three. Is this a joint or single income household? It's a joint income household. My mother works, I work 2 jobs typically. And my younger sister has recently gotten employed. Question number four, do I own or rent? Well, neither right now. I was renting for several years before I decided to move back in with my mother at the end of my last lease. I moved back in with her to save money. And I plan on being here for at least another 3 months. I contribute to the household expenses, and I place a large amount of my check in my money and market account each month, whatever's left over after bills and expenses. All right. Question number 5. What is the highest level of education? Does my education affect pay in my district? Well, my highest level of education is a bachelor's degree, and I also have my NC certification to teach. The level of education used to affect the pay in my area. However, North Carolina and my district in particularly has stopped paying for advanced degrees, so that's basically why I don't have one yet. My district does not pay for master's degrees or doctorate degrees because those advanced degree payments are on a salary freeze right now. So, yeah. All right, question number 6. How much did my education cost? I went to a 4-year university in state, and my education cost after scholarships and grants about like around 25,000-30,000. Okay. Question number 7. How is the salary schedule structured in my district? What are the starting point, the max out point, and the salary increases? Okay, so the schedule starts from 0 years of experience to beginning teachers, and it goes all the way to 30 years. The starting salary in my district with a 12.5% supplement would be 43,000 a year with the supplement, and the max out rate would be the $60,000 a year. So that's for a bachelor's degree. So if you have a bachelor's, it starts at 43,000 and maxes out at 60,000. Now, I am going for my national board certification because my district does pay for the national board certification. That is a 12.5% raise in my district. And if I have a bachelor's with the national board certification, the starting rate would be $47,000 a year, and the max out rate would be $68,000 in my district in the state of North Carolina. Okay. Question number 8. Where am I on the salary schedule? Well, the salary schedule in my state and in my district goes by years of experience. And I am a 5th-year teacher, okay, with a bachelor's degree in NC certification. So that's where I am. I'm pretty not low, but kind of in the middle, kind of working, working toward getting on the other side. Um, yeah. Okay. Question number 9. Do I supplement my income in any way and how? Um, yes, I do supplement my income. Um, I always keep a part-time job during the year, and my school received a grant, and we are being paid for professional development that we're doing over the summer. So right now I'm participating in a book study, and we're being paid for the time we spend reading the book and also coming to the school for the meetings for that book study. I'm also participating in my school's summer camp as an academic summer camp, and that pays really well. Um, let's see. I typically have a part-time after-school position during the year. When I was living in my apartment, I did have a roommate, so that was great, income. And also, on the weekends and on the evenings, I play for my church or church events. And I don't charge to do that because that's my service unto the Lord. But often I am provided with love offerings for my services. And yeah, that's usually, they're pretty generous. Um, However, I'm not paid anything extra for my participation in district events. I'm a music teacher, and so my kids have a number of performances throughout the year, some within the school and some that are district required or encouraged. I do not get paid for the extra time I spend doing performances in the school. I do not get paid for the extra performances from the district. So, yeah. Question number 10. How much money do I receive for supplies? Well, because I'm a music specialist at my school, I receive $450 per year for equipment, which is not much when you consider the type of equipment used in a music classroom and consider the cost of repairs and upkeep to that particular equipment. Also, a few years ago, the district arts fund started giving music teachers an extra $300 to spend toward the middle of the year on extra classroom supplies, instruments, all those sorts of things. Um, and as far as general supplies, my school has a supply closet that the teachers have access to when we need like a stapler or paper, notebooks, and things like that. And also there's a nonprofit in my area called Crayons to Calculators, which allows teachers a certain amount of points each month depending on the school. Yeah, depending on the status of the school. My particular school, we get 50 points each month, and we can spend those 50 points to get whatever's in the warehouse. So that saves a lot of out-of-pocket costs. Now, with me being a music specialist, along with supplies, I have extra expenses that I usually take on for the benefit of my program and for student experiences. For instance, I put on a number of concerts, student performances, and events each year for enrichment purposes for my students. I do typically do 2 concerts per year, a spring concert and a winter concert, and I like to have live music at both because it's my students' opportunity to really be rock stars for an evening. So I always have the live music because it just adds just a whole nother element to the performance. And in the past, for each concert, just for the musicians, I've dished out as much as $225 for a keyboardist, drummer, and bass player. Um, Nowadays, I supplement that cost by actually playing for my own concerts. So I'll teach the kids in class and we'll go over their songs or the performance pieces, and I will have another capable teacher to conduct the piece as I play, and so that saves a couple $100. And also, I've been very blessed to have a fellow coworker, and also he's my church member. He plays drums, and he doesn't charge me a thing. And also, I have another friend who was a church member who is a music teacher at a charter school. He comes and plays bass, and we exchange our services between each other for what do we say? For each of our events. So I'll do something at his event. He'll do something at mine. He doesn't charge. Okay. So that was a tangent. Okay. Question number 11. Are there any deductions from my paycheck? Yes. And let's see, I pay for health insurance. My first year teaching, the district used to offer us a free 70/30 health insurance benefit. But throughout the years, they started charging, and now we're paying $85 a month. That's drafted from my check directly for health insurance. Also, I pay dental insurance that is drafted from my check, and 6% of my income goes into my 403B retirement plan. I do not pay any union fees because North Carolina is a right-to-work state, and we do not have teachers' unions. Okay. Question number 12. Is my salary enough to make men eat meat and feel comfortable? Currently, as it is, not really. It's pretty difficult because the area that I live in North Carolina is going through a major revitalization and gentrification process that's happening all over the city. So the cost of living has gotten significantly higher within the past couple of years. For instance, I rented an apartment a couple of years ago. I stayed there for 2 years, but when I got into the apartment, it was like $886 a month, and then by the time I left the apartment, they renovated it, and now they're charging $1,300 for the same apartment. So that's what's going on where I live in North Carolina. Let's see. Now, NC State, after protest, okay, because last month there was the Red for Ed protest in Raleigh, in our state's capital, because of the teaching conditions in North Carolina. Teachers are not really happy with the funding for public schools here. It's worse in some areas than in others, and generally not happy with the amount of compensation that we received. But after that protest, we received a 6.5% raise. And so that should help supplement the cost of living. But because the cost of living has gotten significantly higher, I don't know if we'll see much, benefit. Okay, let's see. Question number 13. How many months of the year do I receive a paycheck? Well, just like many other school districts, teachers and IAs, instructional assistants, are on a 10-month pay scale, okay, or salary schedule. I have taken the option to have my check smaller during the 10-month period. That way I can receive 2 paychecks during the summer for the same amount. So I converted mine to 12 pay, and I do let the district hold my money, and they pay me in June, at the end of June and at the end of July, those 2 checks. So that's a nice option. I don't really have to work during the summer if I don't want to, but I choose to anyway because I like to live comfortably. Okay. Question number 14. What are my major monthly expenses? Okay. So when I was living in my apartment, my major monthly expenses were rent, the electric bill, internet, water and sewer, car payment, car insurance, student loans, tithes, because I do tithe, and my phone bill. Now that I'm living with my mom, my major expenses are my household contribution, car insurance, tithes, student loans, and phone bill. And the rest, I use a couple hundred to live on, but the rest goes into my savings account right now. Okay. And the last question, oh no, not the last question, the second to last question, number 15. What are my major financial goals? Well, thank God, I do not have any credit card debt. Never really needed one. Never really liked the idea of having a credit card. I know that people say they're good for emergencies, but I'd rather put that interest that I'd be spending toward, or that money I would be spending toward interest on a credit card into my savings account or my money market account so it can accrue interest. I want to obtain a certain amount of digits in my bank account. I have a certain number that I would like to get to. Also, in addition to that, I would like to get the majority of the fees saved up for home purchase without having to touch my money market account. So I have a separate savings account for that. As far as lifestyle, I'd like to take 2-3 day vacations a year. My favorite place in the world is the beach, and so if I can get there twice a year, I'll be perfectly content with that. And also, I just love to be able to live comfortably, and when I move into my home, continue to place or be able to place a few dollars in my savings account. Okay. And the last question, number 16. What is the biggest piece of advice for living on a teacher's salary? Okay. One thing I don't do is live beyond my means. If you have a roommate or someone that you could live with, if you have a family member you could stay with, to help supplement the income, that's always good. Try to see what you can do for yourself, what services you can provide for yourself. As far as for your classroom needs, search out free resources or cheap resources. I know Teachers Pay Teachers and Google has a lot of things that they offer for free or really for really cheap prices. Yeah, that's about it. Sorry if this video was a little rough. This is my first video of this sort, but I thank you for viewing. I hope this was helpful. God bless you, and you have a wonderful day.